What's up, guys? MeatRobots coming at you once again.
What's up?
I want to start today. I want to tell you guys a little story. I wanted some breakfast this morning. I wanted to make huevos rancheros, and I decided that, like last time I did it, I just used a cold tortilla out of the fridge, and I wasn't so into that.
Wait, you ate the cooked eggs on a cold tortilla?
Yeah, and it wasn't so good. But this time I was like, I'm going to make sure my tortilla is nice and warm. So I threw it in my toaster oven. And like this thing just kind of like ballooned up. It like inflated this tortilla. And I was like, all right, I think it's done. Because it was like touching the heating element in my toaster oven. So I'm like, I think it's probably time I pull that thing out. And like I grabbed what little like edge of it I could that wasn't like super inflated, and it just like ruptured and spit hot tortilla steam all over my hand. And so like now I'm icing my hand because like I actually burned myself.
Oh, that's ice over there?
I actually burned myself on tortilla steam. Yeah. Like not that I'm like being a baby about it, but just like it doesn't feel good. I think it's a better idea to ice it than to not. As always, check out our social media. We love when we get likes and comments and follows and shit.
Feedback is important too. We like feedback.
Yeah, and I mean, like, even if you think we're full of shit, let us know.
It only takes one person to say that they like what we're doing for us to continue. It takes more than one person to tell us that they don't like what we're doing for us to stop. Dude, next time you make your ranchero eggs, you should take like olive oil in a pan and actually like crisp the tortilla.
I don't want it crisp because I want to be able to like. I don't want it to be like chips.
It won't be like chips.
Just like a soft tortilla.
It'll be soft still.
Okay,
but it'll be a little. It'll be fried. It'll be nice.
Anyway, we're gonna get into this conversation here. I saw this thing driving home this morning. Someone on their car had this little advertisement, and it looked like it was for something like Spanx or something.
Like compression shorts or like a compression.
Yeah, I mean
strap?
like shapewear. I think they call it shapewear.
Was it like a decal? Like this is like their business.
They had some like decal on like their door. I didn't get a great look at it, but like it was like some advertisement for like shapewear, and like I really don't agree with shapewear.
And like shapewear, we're talking about like tight belly spank things,
tight to the point
tuck in
where
your fat.
where it like smooths out all of your flub. And like I understand, like not everybody's super happy about their body, and like it is a long process to change it, and sometimes it doesn't go well for people. But like,
and if you're in the process, like maybe you're going out to like a nice dinner and you want to wear a dress. So you want to wrap it all up. Maybe you are going to the gym a lot and you're watching what you eat, but right now you still got some fat. So you wrap it up. So maybe that's a nice time to use it.
Yeah, but I mean, like when push
it's
comes to shove,
it's instant gratification.
It's instant gratification, and it's fake. Like, eventually, like you, like say you go out, you're like, I'm gonna put my Spanx on tonight. Going out to the bars, you pick someone up, and then like your third date is swimming. Like they're gonna figure out that your body isn't smooth and flawless.
Or like they go home with you that night and they're just like, oh no, now you don't have this cover up on, and I regret my decision to take you home.
Not that body is the only reason.
But you tricked them, you fooled them
to meet someone. But yeah, it's kind of dishonest.
And you're probably gonna feel bad about yourself or awkward because you were really confident, and then you're not so confident when you reveal that things aren't how you portrayed them.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of things like in fitness and health even that go for this like instant gratification, I feel like.
Lots of quick fixes. And that goes beyond just the fitness realm. It goes into all things in life. Like technology itself is all about instant gratification and making life easier.
God, like even if you look at like the venture from Facebook, which had like a little bit of everything, you could post as long as you want. I haven't seen a Facebook note in a while. Do they still do those? Can you still do a note on Facebook?
I don't know what
that
means.
Like a page of text.
Yeah, you can make a status super long.
No. But like it would be like it's a separate little like thing that you'd like open up on Facebook.
Oh, I remember.
Like
those.
I remember it was big on like MySpace. People would write those like really long like chain messages.
Oh yeah, you send them around.
or like the surveys. Those were pretty funny actually. I
Oh
actually
yeah,
liked those.
I totally remember those. It's like a giant questionnaire that you just fill out with like.
Yeah, it's like Coke or Pepsi, blah blah blah. Like,
Yeah.
like Burger King or McDonald's, and then it would like go down the list, and it's like, all right, you finished the this or that. Now this is the yes or no's, and then we're gonna have the like the next section. Those are actually pretty funny.
They are pretty funny.
They kept you occupied. But like, I don't even think there are notes on Facebook anymore. I don't know if you can do that. Or I haven't seen anyone do it in a
Or even
long
the internet
time.
in general is almost like a quick fix. People used to have to go do research in a library and go through periodicals and like.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too, but like this it's just the transition to make things faster and faster. People like things that are easier.
Especially social media. You look and it went from like a pretty inclusive source was the main thing, but now there's Twitter for one. Like you have to write very short-winded.
Yeah, 150 characters or less. And you have Instagram, which is like basically pictures.
Just
you can have longer captions and stuff like that.
Instagram is so mindless for me. If I'm scrolling Instagram, I'm basically just like scroll, and if like at like half a second's glance the picture looked kind of interesting, I'll stop and look at it. It's this quick fix, and Vine, 6 seconds you're supposed to like portray some video that people like, and they're great, but like. It's giving everyone ADD. Quick fixes everywhere, though, and I mean, like,
you see them a lot in the fitness industry, and that's kind of hard. Like being in the business and trying to put out good, informative content, and trying to actually help people. And
it's like, why would I want to do your lifting program when I could take hydroxycut?
Yeah, exactly.
Or wear Spanx.
Or people will advertise like my program's the best because it's super quick. You'll see results in 10 days. Or you try my meal plan, or it's like, hey, this new fad diet made Kim Kardashian lose 60 pounds in 10 days, or whatever, something crazy, some unsustainable number, and people hop on that because it's a quick fix and it's not healthy, and a lot of these things aren't healthy, and they're really not coming down to the root cause of the problems. You're treating symptoms, not the root cause, and that's what we're going to try to talk about today. How you go beyond just covering up like the immediate symptoms or what you're trying to change by doing some sort of superficial means or method, and getting down to like what is the root cause of the problems. Obviously, if you have poor body composition, instead of trying to cover it up with clothing, you need to look at your diet, you need to look at the way you're training, and then it gets down to even more details and subtle nuances about how you train, nutrient timing, stuff like that, which is really going to be a bigger factor.
And I mean, like every step of the way, if it works for you, yes, get as much out of it for as little as you can. Absolutely. But if that's not enough, if you're not treating your issue, then you need to take that next further step in it. There's always a further, more complex step.
I always kind of like, I guess with fitness and like anything that you kind of dabble in, at first like you do almost what the bare minimum is, just because like, okay, like I need to go to the gym because I want to look better, so I'm going to start working out. And you do basically what you think you're supposed to be doing, and then you learn more, and like, okay, I'm not doing things well, so I learn more about it.
If the bare minimum works for you, why would you do more?
Right. But like, there's on the other side, when it comes to like other topics like studying or going to school, it might not be the best idea to do the bare minimum of work and then see how that translates to like your grades. You might want to start like all out and then reduce.
That's very different. Because I mean, yeah, you can skate by on the bare minimum with school because the assessments are flawed. Yeah. It's all like multiple choice. That's a quick fix to not having to grade so much. So I mean, like that's a matter of what the assessment is. But when the assessment is pretty comprehensive, when it's like not just your scale weight, it's your body composition, it's your health, how you feel, and all those factors. If you're improving all those things, that's pretty comprehensive, I would say. More so than a multiple choice exam.
Yeah, obviously it's results based, not just answer based.
So I mean, that's the thing is like even just losing weight is kind of a quick fix, a symptom, not maybe the cause.
Yeah, maybe you're losing weight is actually a symptom, or you're having a lot of extra weight is a symptom of insulin resistance and poor diet and other
some kind
other
of
like
metabolic deficiency.
yeah, or other systemic problems.
Very likely.
So you might lose the weight, but you still may have all these biological markers that are not healthy.
Yeah.
Obviously insulin and other things like metabolism and stuff that plays a role into that.
Like I would even go as far as to say that, like, someone who does like only cardio is kind of treating a symptom but not a cause. Like, I have a poor metabolism. I don't burn calories the way I want to. So what I'm going to do is try my hardest to burn extra calories today, when really maybe what they should be doing is lifting, putting on some muscle so that their metabolism improves, or it could come down to diet. Diet will affect your metabolism, absolutely.
Right, instead of being like, okay, I ate like crap last night, I need to go to the gym and work those calories off, and work off this fat. Maybe I should take a step back and be like, okay, well, instead of trying to outrun this fork, I should kind of reduce the calories I'm eating, still exercise, find better ways, more effective means to lose that weight and control your metabolism and your body composition when it comes down to it. If you're trying to lose fat and look leaner or look toned, it comes down to gaining some muscle mass and reducing the fat. And lifting is going to be a better means to achieve those goals than just running to lose some fat, which is inefficient in losing fat anyways.
What I mean, like, but yeah, what I'm trying to really say is burning these 300 calories this one time is not going to improve your metabolism, is what I'm saying. It, like, you could be doing work towards making your metabolism stronger and faster, but instead you're just choosing to do something that's going to burn 300 calories one time.
So that's kind of how we can address it when just like lifting and just like body composition and stuff like that. But this translates over to a bunch of different health things. For me, like with my psoriasis, I can take medicine to treat the symptoms, which I've done before and it worked really well. Or I can think about like, okay, something's wrong with my physiology. Some genes not being expressed correctly because some sort of inflammation or other system. So let me try to go to the root cause by fixing about how I treat my body as far as stress levels, inflammatory eating, inflammatory processes in general, which I control by diet and lifestyle and just environmental triggers, rather than taking medication for a quick fix while still leading an unhealthy life per se.
Yeah, and I mean, I've lately been having issues like getting to sleep when I want to, and there's a couple quick, easy fixes for that. Like, I have melatonin in the cabinet. Melatonin. I have melatonin in the cabinet. I could take melatonin. That usually helps a lot in getting to sleep. I could have a few beers if I wanted to. That usually helps me get to sleep. But, I mean, like, obviously, if I'm consistently not getting to sleep as quickly as I want to, then there's something systemic. There's something more central that I need to look at, rather than like attacking it from the outside, supplementing to fall asleep easily. I need to look at why am I not getting to sleep quickly.
Right, and like melatonin, if you don't know, that's a neurotransmitter that helps you fall asleep. It upregulates other hormones and whatnot to make you fall asleep easier, so you can supplement with melatonin to get you into that sleep state quicker. But if you rely on it too much, you stop producing your natural amount of melatonin, so you have to rely on the supplement. And one way that you stimulate melatonin production, well, it's part of your circadian rhythm. And if you are looking at a screen or like you have bright lights, you're watching TV, and when it's time for you to go to sleep, that light that goes into your eyeball reduces the amount of melatonin that you produce. Because it's kind of like
it thinks it's the sun.
Yeah, it thinks it's the sunlight. So it's like it's a sun time, like it's bright. It's time for you to be awake. It all plays a part into your circadian rhythm. So like one thing you can do instead of taking
that kind of speaks to why it's so hard to drag your ass out of bed in the winter.
Right. It's super
no
dark.
No sunlight, no drive to get out of bed because your melatonin's producing.
So, like, instead of taking melatonin because you can't go to sleep and you're up on the computer all night and you're just like, you feel like you have insomnia, well, maybe the first thing you need to do is cut out the electronic
Yeah,
visual light stimulus to your eyeball. Maybe get
no
maybe
doubt,
an hour or two before you go to sleep. Don't look at any light sources.
Looking at screens right before sleep is definitely one of the worst things you can do for your sleep cycle. It makes you want to be awake.
Another thing, like, you can try to match your sleep cycle up with like the day's sun cycle. You know, try to get up a little bit earlier when the sun's up, and then when it's time to go to sleep, the sun's kind of going down. Like, I know, like, when I have to go to sleep early, like at 7:45, 8:45 at night when I work super early, like, it's almost like it's hard to get to sleep because, like, I've only been up for 12 hours today. Like, I woke up at 8 and I have to go to sleep at 8. Like, that's hard to do. But at the same time, like, I'm winding down. If I can time it correctly and I get all my stuff ready, if I can start to get to sleep at like 8 o'clock, like start brushing my teeth or whatever, by 8:30, I start getting to bed. The sun's going down about that time, so like the day's winding down while I'm trying to wind down, and it kind of matches up nicely. It sets that tone.
No doubt. And I mean, like, of course, other factors are going to be like stress. If your mind's racing, of course, it's harder to get to sleep. That's where deep breathing and or meditation kind of exercises can help a lot.
I was listening to Charles Poliquin on Tim Ferriss' show, and he was talking about how he's been reading a lot of research studies that come out, I think more in Europe, have been talking about electromagnetic radiation from our phones and like other devices, and how that messes with our dopamine levels, and then that in turn increases our cortisol throughout the day. So what he's been doing is chunking his electronic use time. So like in the morning he'll do his emails and like whatever phone calls he needs to make, and then for the rest of the day he doesn't touch them.
So it's not like a slow drip of like texts all day.
So like he can give himself time to like recover from like that stimulus, to like the radiation.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
He says it makes him more productive because like when he is answering emails or when he is working on his computer,
it's like it's email time.
Like, it's time for me to do this work, and then for the rest of the day I don't do this.
But that's another thing. Like stress, most likely any stresses you feel throughout your day are coming from something that's looming over your head. So I mean, in that case, even like deep breathing meditation, that's kind of treating the symptom, but not the cause.
Right. You might have to get down to like
maybe you just have to get your homework done, or maybe you have to
plan
pay
your time
rent,
accordingly,
or this or that, like or you have to like clean your room, whatever it is. There's some task.
Maybe you're trying to focus on too many tasks in a day. Maybe you need to just dial it back a little bit. Instead of trying to get 10 things done, maybe you only try to get 6 things done or 7 things done. I've been doing that more often now. Actually, just been trying to put on my list of things to do today, one task. Like today, I'm doing podcasts, and then obviously I have to meet my clients and stuff like that. But when it comes to like extracurricular work, I'm just gonna do one thing.
Things in your kind of flexible hours.
Yeah. So in my flexible hours, I'll do this one big thing that's gonna set me up and like help me out for like the rest of the week. I need to get this done because obviously it benefits like what we're doing.
It benefits everyone.
Exactly.
Listen.
And then when I finish this, if I have time to read a book or if I have time to, I don't know, just hang out and do whatever I want, watch some TV shows. I've been watching The Strain and like new season of Hell on Wheels on Netflix now. So like if I want to get to that, I can do that. I don't have to like work all these various activities I want to get done into my day. I don't have to work it into my schedule. I'll just focus on one thing, and whatever else is just free for all.
I think that's a really valuable thing to do, is structure your time so that you do have the free time for kind of doing whatever. Like, I enjoy video games. I like to play video games. I like when I can leave myself some time to do that. And like for me, a great time to do that is going to be when I'm editing podcasts, when I have to render things, or when I'm uploading to YouTube. That gives me like usually a couple hours.
Yeah.
That like I kind of want to be near my computer.
But you don't have to actively be using it.
I don't need to be like really grinding through the editing process. So
you're just kind of waiting for things to happen on the computer, click the next step, let it run. But
kind of scheduling in these little fun times for yourself, kind of relax, doing whatever. Definitely there's a list of things that you want to get done every day. But definitely if you're going from the second your eyes open to the second your head hits the pillow, you probably have some stress going. Yeah, having some wind down time I think is important, and wind down time that is less electronic.
It can be electronic, but yeah,
but not close to bedtime.
Yeah, not close to bedtime.
But yeah, again with this like treating the symptom but not the cause, I think that's really kind of an issue in pharmaceuticals nowadays.
Anything in the health industry, really, not even just pharmaceuticals, like treating, like getting medicine to
But I
treat
mean,
any
especially
problem.
pharmaceuticals, it's such a huge business, and I think there's so many
I think
workarounds.
I think
to
it's
a
the
lot of these
healthcare
drugs.
industry in general because like it can come down to like, okay, I got surgery on my foot and they're like, okay, you need to have these orthopedic inserts into your shoe to support your arch. And it's like, well, how about I just make my arch stronger so I don't need to rely on the arch.
But then they can't sell you a product.
Exactly, they can't sell you the product, but it's a quick fix and it's addressing symptoms because they almost like it's almost like I felt disrespected because they're just like, yeah, you won't be able to do these things unless you have these arches in your foot. You won't be able to run or jump. And I'm just like, you're giving me no credit. You're saying that I basically have to rely on this crutch because you don't trust that I'll work hard enough to like make my body better. Because for the most part, they see the general public who don't really care about their health, or like,
Oh yeah,
they
I'm
want
sure there's plenty of people who just want the arch.
yeah, they just want the quick fix. They're like, okay, what do I need to do? Like, what's causing my problem? Okay, I don't have good arches in my shoes. Okay, I'll get the arches. And when it comes down to it, you have the kinematic chain. One thing affects the other. So let's get down to the root cause. If you have weak arches, then your foot's going to cave in, your knee's going to hurt, whatever, everything's going to be thrown off.
Like, granted, there's sometimes we need crutches.
There's sometimes you need
There's
crutches.
definitely times when they're not a bad thing to have, but there's definitely times when they're excessive, and there's definitely times when they will hold you back in the long run to have this cast or this crutch. And I mean, a huge example, I think, of like treating the symptoms, not the cause, is diabetes. My father has type 1 diabetes. He's had it for a long time.
That's hard for him to go to like change with diet.
Well, you can't change it with diet.
Can't,
It's completely genetic. And diet can help you manage it to an extent, no doubt, but still, like, it's going to be there. It's always
His body
be
just
there.
doesn't produce insulin
The
one
body
way or
doesn't
the other.
produce insulin.
It's not that he's resistant to it and he's built up some sort of some level where his body doesn't respond to the insulin.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
He just doesn't make the insulin.
But I mean, diabetes, they kind of have him in a chokehold, because they aren't really producing any cure for diabetes. They aren't really working to treat the cause of diabetes, but really all they do is they just pump out new insulin pumps or new blood glucose monitors or some combination of the two, and they're making new and better products that will help you manage your diabetes, but it's never really getting fixed. It's being
Right.
treated, it's being managed, it's not being fixed.
They may be limited, but obviously they can do more research and stuff like that. Like, when it comes down to it, they need to make some sort of product that stimulates insulin production in the pancreas.
There's definitely some, like, they could be working harder at it. I think a lot of companies are really reluctant to do real research in fixing someone's pancreas, because then there's a big cash cow. Then it's a one surgery or one drug, and it's over.
Yeah, it's like I think General Electric may have had this problem. Don't quote me on it, but I feel like I've heard this before, where they made like really, really good appliances, like washers and dryers, or some company did, and then everyone bought them, and then they lasted forever, and then they went out of business because like everyone bought the product, and then nobody else needed they ran out of product to sell.
Or like those or Stride gum commercials. You ever see those? The gum company like goes and like reclaims pieces of gum because people chew them too long. It's like a lot of people are afraid to like put out a good product that's gonna just last people, because they want the
returning
returns.
customers.
Yeah, they want returns for maintenance.
It takes away a lot of empowerment because then people are just reliant on outside sources.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't quite believe this, but I know there's people who would say that rich people have cures for cancer that they aren't sharing. I know there's people who would like make a tooth and nail argument.
Well, here's the interesting about like a cure for cancer.
I would believe it, but I'm not gonna like crazy argue for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty big into the like functional nutritional medicine type stuff, and a lot of the doctors that I've been listening to and like researching and reading about, they've had like clinical experience with curing cancer just by changing the diet, because when it comes down to like cancer, like something's wrong in your body, some physiological system's not working properly, you have toxic overload or some sort of problem, and they clean it up with the diet and let the body have its natural healing effects, and then they're able to get rid of the cancer. And a lot of times, you know, we try to just mask up like, okay, I need some sort of cancer drug, I need chemotherapy. When it comes down to it, you need to change your lifestyle, you need to change your diet, because the best way to cure cancer is to prevent getting cancer in the first place. And we treat cancer because it's a symptom.
What do they say? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of the cure?
Probably. I mean, that makes sense. If they didn't say it, you did.
They did say it. I'm not making this up. Either way, it's a good phrase.
Yeah, it's, you know, like a teenage, what they say, the best way to lose fat is to never get fat in the first place.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I mean, like, gaining fat isn't just gaining fat, but like
you're damaging your metabolism.
You stunt your metabolism, absolutely. And like the picture that I always see for like the dirty bulk, I think probably the most famous dirty bulk image would be like the one of Lee Priest sitting at the table with just the giant gut. And I mean, you look at Lee Priest competition season, the man is a god.
Yeah.
Like, this is a Mr. Olympia. Like, but you look at him on his bulk and he just looks like a fat ass. But I think that's probably like the most famous image of a dirty bulk. Probably because he's the only bodybuilder that would let someone take a picture of him while he was like in the midst of a bulk. I know like Arnold would get fat between shows.
Oh yeah.
I've never really seen a picture of it.
I feel like a lot of the bodybuilders now are staying pretty lean though. They all do pretty clean bulking.
Yeah, because it's come out now that it's so much better to stay on a clean
healthy.
bulk.
Yeah.
It's so
easy to maintain.
Because when you have to lose all that fat, not only is your metabolism stunted, but it's also time you take away from
training,
from building muscle.
Yeah.
You can't really build muscle and burn fat at the same time.
You're just yo-yoing the entire time.
Very hard to do that.
Instead of this nice steady incline.
But yeah, they like take a lot of time, and no doubt they have to lose some muscle in losing that fat when it's that much fat to lose.
That's such a huge misconception now. People are like, "Oh yeah, I'm bulking."
I mean,
like you can bulk much slower than the typical person.
And you
who's
should
bulking.
bulk much slower.
Yeah,
but it's kind of a cop out. And like, Reddit Fitness, like someone posted like why do people go through bulking and cutting phases rather than just like a steady gain without putting on fat? And everyone was like, it's cause you can't build muscle without building fat, blah blah blah. And I answered honestly. I said it's a cop out.
You go, I'm a personal trainer, and they downvoted you.
Yeah, I say. I didn't even say that at that time.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson. You can't tell the internet that you're a personal trainer. They won't take you seriously. But I said, just like, honestly, it's a cop-out, and it's just an excuse to eat whatever the hell you want and not be careful about your diet while you're trying to get bigger.
And, you know, the fact of the matter is you can only synthesize, like, 1 pound of protein per month.
You can absolutely, like, you're going to gain some fat with muscle almost without fail, but you can gain an amount that either keeps your body fat percentage in line with what it currently is, or it's even possible to lower your body fat percentage because you're building muscle at a faster pace than fat.
It's all about a very slow caloric excess.
Yeah, and I mean that's realistically, what is it, a quarter pound a week of muscle you can probably build.
It's something like up to a 1 pound per month. Like that's like optimal, like best genetics. And then of course you can maybe, that's 1 pound of lean muscle mass. Of course you're going to be gaining glycogen and therefore water within that muscle that you're now creating. So you might gain like maybe 2.5, 3 pounds of like lean mass per month.
And a great example, you'll see this like bodybuilders in competitions, they will boast like up 10 pounds from last year, and like these are enormous 250 pound dudes, and like they're thrilled with 10 pounds in the last year.
Yeah, that's
so think about
prime.
think about that. This is someone whose entire thing is building muscle,
And they may be on like
and
hormones.
they're probably on some stuff.
Yeah, they're probably on some stuff, and
it's 10 pounds this year.
that stuff allows them to consistently make those gains year
Yeah.
after year, gain 8 to 10 pounds or something like that.
Pretty much the same body fat percentage from each competition to the next, but not huge leaps. It's not like 30 pounds in a year.
But think about that. If you can gain 10 pounds of lean muscle mass in a year,
newbie gains are different.
Newbie gains are definitely different.
You can definitely build a little bit more in the first like month or couple months you're training, especially if you're young, especially if you're like a teenage guy. You can build up really fast just because like your hormones are pretty optimal without any supplementation.
And thinking about that, we're talking about males, like the best case scenario, best genetics, best hormones. They can gain only about like a pound a month. And then you think about women who want to get into better shape, but they're afraid of lifting. Well, they don't even have the hormones that are going to allow them to gain 1 pound of muscle mass per month. So they really should have no fear about getting bulky when they're told to do some resistance training to reach their goals.
Yeah, but I mean, that being said, the same caloric excess that a male might use might even be a little too much for a female trying to lean bulk. And so, like, the dirty bulk, I would say, is more realistic for a woman because they just can't build as much muscle as quickly.
Yeah.
So even a pretty small caloric excess can lead to some fat gains. Food for thought.
Food for thought. So some more food for thought. Just take consideration what we've been talking about. Try to notice when you're being sold a quick fix or when you have sold yourself on a quick fix. Think about, okay, am I just trying to treat a symptom, or should I really get down to the root cause of like, how am I going to reach my goals? How am I going to
fix this issue?
Fix the issue.
This task.
What's the root cause? How do you make things better rather than just patching up a hole?
Think about not what this treatment will do for you in a day or an hour. Think about what it's going to do for you in 2 weeks, in a year.
Or how is your solution sustainable?
Yeah. So I think that's about what I have to say on the topic. Thanks for listening, everybody. As always, check us out: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All the names are in the description.